They just find ways to win. Now improving their record to 28, 11, and 4. It's quite remarkable. And this was a lot of the same. The shootout, it reminded me of the Rangers-Devils game from earlier in the season at the Garden. That one went 7 rounds. This one went 6. So just in terms of the shootout, definitely reminiscent. The Rangers now, their shootout record improves to 3-1 after this win. But with the Rangers, they are opportunistic. Again, 5-on-5, they're really not all that impressive. They're 5-on-5, they're extremely average, very ordinary, nothing special. But typically the special teams is what sets them apart. Tonight, they did get a power play goal. They also gave up a power play goal. So it wasn't as if it gave them any major advantage in this one. But Igor Shesterkin continues to just really play exceptionally well. I believe he's won 7 straight starts. He's won 20 games on the season. He has a spectacular record, really great statistics as well. And again, he is probably your front runner for the Vezina, so give Igor a ton of credit. Chris Kreider scores his 30th goal tonight. Chris Kreider leads the NHL in goals by himself. Ovechkin didn't score tonight. And Kreider, 15 of his 30 goals on the power play. He's been a huge power play threat, but just in general, he's been great. And Kreider has scored in 6 straight games now. Goals in 6 straight, 9 goals in 6 games for Kreider. He's been just otherworldly. He's been so good. And so that helps a lot. And the Rangers, they're getting a lot out of their top players. They're getting a lot out of, they're getting top 4 defensemen are locking a lot of minutes. Adam Fox, he is going to be in that Norris Trophy conversation again. Could he win it again? Possibly. Adam Fox with a really beautiful game-winning shootout goal. And I think, we found out after the game from Gerard Gallant that it was actually Fox who didn't really want to go higher in the shootout. I think now he's got to be at least top 3 or 4. Obviously the main guys being Panarin and Zibanejad in the shootout, but I think Fox has got to be right after that, in my opinion. He's got the skill for it. And hopefully the confidence, if it was lacking, will increase after that amazing goal. But it was really, Fox, Jacob Trouba, who was robbed by Jonathan Quick. He almost scored again, but he's just been such a presence. And Ryan Lindgren is very unsung as Fox's partner. And Keandre Miller, for as young as he is in his second year, and last year wasn't even really a full year with just the weirdness of it with COVID, he is doing what he needs to do. There's mistakes there, but he's playing 20-plus minutes a night, it seems like, routinely. So, and then, of course, like I said, the Kreiders, the Panarins, the Zibanejads, Strome, from time, more than from time to time. He frustrates me, but, you get a lot of production out of him. But another guy that really doesn't get the credit that he might deserve, Barclay Goodrow. Goodrow, he scored an extremely clutch goal in this one, and that's just what he is. He is clutch. He was for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He honestly was for the San Jose Sharks, and you're seeing it again. He is someone that you plug him on a line, and it's usually effective. So it worked in this game where he ends up playing again with Panarin and Strome, and that was probably, that was the best line. Now, the lines were kind of juggled, and that felt like it was maybe the only one that kind of stood for a while. But Goodrow is someone that you just want on the ice. He is a winning player. He has been worth that contract 100%. So he deserves so much credit, and he kind of flies under the radar. But the Rangers really, quite honestly, I don't know how they do it. They improved their record to 17-1-2 in scoring first, even though that's a bit misleading because the Kings took the lead. The Rangers, this was their second win when trailing going into the third. The other one, I believe, was at Ottawa earlier in the year, which also, ironically, Goodrow had a very key deflection goal as he did in this one. Of note, Capo Caco week to week with an upper body injury. So that's not great there. Don't expect to see Kako until they come back. They have a 2-week break. So I wouldn't expect to see Kako at the earliest till February 15th. You'd like to think he'll be back by then. He won't be back any sooner. Philip Hedl day-to-day. So he's out. We'll see what Hedl's status is. And so that led Morgan Barron to be in a lot of it. And I think Morgan Barron, he's not overly flashy, but I like what I've seen from Barron. I think he deserves to get more looks and hopefully get a little bit more of a role. On defense, so Jared Tenorti was placed on waivers and cleared waivers, and he was sent to the taxi squad, meaning that the Rangers have 7 active defensemen. Patrick Nemeth was out, I believe, with an injury. Gallant was, as he usually is very kind of coy about it. And he said that one of the defensemen was banged up coming in, and then Nemeth didn't play. And they followed up with him on the press conference after the game, and I think he basically confirmed that it is an injury. Although with Nemeth, it easily could be a healthy scratch, and it'd be deserved. So Libor Hayek, who I'm not a huge fan of, was in the lineup. Didn't play many minutes in this game, but for the minutes that he did play, was fine. Him and Schneider had sheltered minutes. But he honestly looked better than Nemeth. I mean, it's really gotten to the point with Nemeth where it's like, it is pretty bad. You can't defend it. So that was the lineup situation in this one. But the Rangers, a lot of interesting storylines that came out of this game. Now, the Rangers, it was another poor first period. I can't stress that enough. And Gallant played down the shot difference. It was 11-3 Kings in the first. Forget about that for a second. They just did not. The Rangers, they get better as the game goes on, but you fall behind enough, it's going to come back to bite you. And again, the even strength play leaves so much to be desired. There are definitely troubling signs, but the one theme is that they just keep on winning. It's clockwork. If the game is close, the Rangers get it done, and you can't. So while I'm going to say that it's problematic, these slow starts. The 5-on-5 play not being exceptional, but also at the same time, this has become a team that was not clutch whatsoever to being extremely clutch in 1 year. So Jacob Trouba takes a high sticking penalty, but the Rangers are able to kill that off. Then things get really interesting. It was Brendan Lemieux's first game back at the Garden since the Rangers traded him last season to the Kings. And what does Brendan Lemieux do? He gets ejected. A 5-minute major for boarding Ryan Lindgren. Lindgren would get a 2-minute penalty himself as he retaliated and cross-checked Lemieux. But Lemieux was done. 5-minute major and a game misconduct. So Brendan Lemieux, who, I'm very glad he's not on the team anymore. I just, he does add a different element. He is a bit feisty. He's not. But here's what he is. He's a 4th-line player. Brendan Lemieux is a 4th-line player who, quite honestly, I thought his defensive game was very subpar, and I'm glad he's gone. And so Lemieux, he got booed off the ice. He was frustrated with the call, and so it leads to an eventual Ranger 3-minute power play, and they come through at with about 1.5 seconds left in the period. It was really a beautiful play by Fox. Adam Fox finds Kreider in front, and Kreider scores as he's done all season. 30th goal for Kreider. It's a power play goal right at the end of the period. And so the Rangers take that 1-0 lead. Then in the second, the Rangers played better in the second. There were plenty of opportunity. It was crazy. Jonathan Quick and Shesterkin, it was really high-class goaltending in this one. But in the second, it would be a goal by Blake Lizotte. Really nice. Lizotte moves into the zone. I wish that Trouba had stepped up on Lizotte. He kind of played him. He went back. And Lizotte shoots it through Trouba's legs, and it goes in. So I'm not sure if Shesterkin. I think Trouba screened Shesterkin. He couldn't see it, and that ties it up at 1. Then in the second, Goodrow draws a penalty. Rangers unsuccessful on the power play. Then later, Panarin makes an unbelievable move where he just jukes the defender, goes backhand roof, but it hit the crossbar. It looked like it might have went in, but it didn't. And then unfortunately, not only is there no goal there, but then Goodrow takes a high sticking penalty. at the end of the period. And just like the Rangers did in the first period, the Kings score a late second period goal, as it would be Alex Iafallo in front. And this was a goal where, the coverage was a bit soft, where, there were more Rangers than Kings, but the Kings were the hungrier team for a lot of this game. Trouba was in front. Keandre Miller, who doesn't normally get penalty killing time, he was also defending there, and Iafallo scores, and the Kings take a 2-1 lead. And the Rangers, they were getting chances. Ryan Strome did draw a high-sticking penalty from Olli Maatta, and the Rangers had some opportunities, but they didn't score on the power play. Then Alexis Lafreniere, who lost playing time in this game. When the game started, he was playing with Strome and Goodrow, but Lafreniere just ended up, I don't know if he got benched, but, very low ice time. And he takes a boarding penalty. I'll say this, and at this point, I'm very upset with Lafreniere, like at this point in the game and with how he's been. But that was a weak call. And he's been taking penalties lately, but Dustin Brown I don't know what happened. Brown was in discomfort, but that was a clean play. Lafreniere did not deserve that, but the Rangers do kill that off and keep it at 2-1. And then it happens with a little less than 6 minutes to go. It would be Goodrow. His 8th of the season on a great deflection from Panarin and Strome. So that's 2 assists for Panarin, who was really all over. He looked good. He was buzzing all over the ice. The top players for the Rangers looked great. One of those guys, Mika Zibanejad, draws a penalty late in the third. So interesting. A similar theme with late period penalties. And this one would carry over into the overtime. The Rangers would not score at the end of regulation. And because there was a power play to start overtime, it was 4-on-3. And the Rangers didn't score. So the whole overtime, there was no stoppages. So it actually ended up being a 4-on-4 overtime with a lot of chances too. It wasn't, 3-on-3 is where you get the most opportunities, but the 4-on-4, it was entertaining, but Quick and Shesterkin shut the door. So we go to a shootout. And I like that Gallant, when the Rangers are home, chooses to go second. I like last licks. To me, I think it's a no-brainer. But for the longest time, I think most teams, home teams, were choosing to go first. I know the Rangers did for years. So the Rangers it goes to the shootout, and Adrian Kempe saves Shesterkin. What was really surprising was that Chris Kreider went first, which I know he scored the winner against the Devils, and I know he's been hot lately, but I didn't understand that one. I don't think we'll see that again. I don't know why that happened, and Quick made the save on Kreider. Then Victor Arvidsson, really nice stop by Shesterkin. And now you kind of, with Zibanejad and Panarin coming up, you got to get it done there. Zibanejad, with a nice move, doesn't score. So at that point, I'm thinking, all right, the way to victory is a Shesterkin save and then a Panarin goal. Well, Anze Kopitar scores. So Panarin, as he did against the Devils, he had a key goal in that shootout. I don't know if it was a game saver at the time, or they might have been down in the shootout. But either way, Panarin, if he doesn't score, it's over. He does score. Panarin, clutch goal in the shootout, ties it up. So we head to the fourth round. Iafallo stopped by Shesterkin. And then Ryan Strome, who I'm not surprised he went fourth, but maybe we should readjust that. Strome doesn't score there. And so we head to the fifth round. Number 2 overall pick in the 2020 draft behind Alexis Lafreniere, Quinton Byfield scores. And what do you know? Who comes up next to the Rangers? Alexis Lafreniere. So Byfield picked second. Lafreniere picked first in that draft. Lafreniere, I was pretty vocal when he was up there. I'm saying, you know what? You got to score here. Byfield just scored. You've been struggling. You haven't really been getting it done. Here's a moment. And Lafreniere scores to keep the game alive. Just as Panarin did, Lafreniere scores too. And that's a great moment. And hopefully, I know it's just a shootout, but hopefully it gets him going. And we've seen that Lafreniere, if nothing else, he's had a knack for scoring some pretty big goals. The points aren't there, but the goals are there. He does have 8 goals. Like I said, if he ends up with 15 goals, would that be surprising? Not at all. Not at all. But Lafreniere gets it done and matches Byfield. So we head to the 6th round. Arthur Kaliev stopped by Shesterkin. And then Adam Fox comes up, and just what a gorgeous backhand roof. And the puck actually stayed in the netting. Fox wins it. for the Rangers. So it's a 3-2 win for the Rangers against the Kings. It's nice to get them back after the Kings won their game in LA. Rangers win this one. And with the way, the division's shaking out right now, again, there's, you got a half a season to go, but Washington's been struggling lately. Pittsburgh's been hot. We know what Carolina is. So with a lot of time left right now, it looks like, and again, I can't say this enough, so much can change, but let's have fun with it. Rangers-Penguins looks like that could, the Rangers haven't even played the Penguins yet this season, but that could be a series. That could absolutely, where I think, even though the Rangers are 4 points out of Carolina, I believe Carolina has 5 games in hand. So that will change. Carolina will eventually rise to the top. So, I don't know. Just something to think about. It might be, maybe a Rangers-Penguins series, which we've seen quite a bit throughout the years, but kind of a different era now, at least on the Rangers side of things. The Penguins still have their main guys. The Rangers haven't even played Pittsburgh yet, so you'll get a good taste of what that could be later in the season. But the Rangers, they find a way again, just as they have all season. It's been fun, and now the Rangers have a couple of days off, and then they will have a back-to-back at Columbus to face the Blue Jackets, who they've already beaten twice this year. And then the night after, I will actually be likely in attendance for Henrik Lundqvist night, where the Rangers will take on the Minnesota Wild. And that should be a pretty fun game against a good team. So we'll see what happens as we draw closer to the All-Star break.